It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Wednesday, the 25th of August. I'm Michael Groff. The big concern in the short term around here will be the excessive heat through Friday, but then moisture starts to pick up this weekend and going into next week. The forecast is littered with question marks, though, as to exactly where, when, and how much moisture we will see. And all eyes in the weather world are turning toward the tropics as well. So a lot going on. Let's talk about it. First, yesterday in the valley, 105 degrees, the afternoon high. 80 was the morning low, and that's pretty close to where we ought to be for this time of year. As we take a look outside now at 5:45 a.m., clear sky, and we're sitting at 84 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew point at 57, relative humidity 40%. The winds are light, and the barometer is steady. The upper air look shows a massive ridge extending all the way from the central Atlantic westward into the southwestern United States, and that is going to facilitate this warm-up that we'll see over the next couple of days, with high temperatures going up to well above average levels and approaching records in some spots. And you can see the results of that here on the watch warning map, a number of heat advisories and excessive heat warnings over the Plains states and into the Mississippi Valley, as well as parts of western New York with a heat advisory. Here in Arizona, we've got an excessive heat warning in effect for the Phoenix metro area, and that is from 10 a.m. this morning through 8 p.m. Friday. All right, the convective outlook for today, a risk of severe storms over the northern plains extending eastward into the western and central Great Lakes, as well as parts of Georgia and South Carolina with that marginal risk. Let's take a look at the tropics right now. Things getting rather interesting here. We've got two systems in the Atlantic and one in the Caribbean of concern. Those two Atlantic systems, well, the lead wave there to the west has an 80% chance of development, the trailing wave a 30% chance of forming. But both of those look like they're going to gain latitude and not have any impact on the United States. Now, that system out there in the Caribbean, that's the one to watch because, first of all, it has an 80% chance of development over the southwest Caribbean. Then it's expected to move across the Yucatan or into the central Gulf of Mexico. And what happens from there? Well, that's the $64,000 question. This is Invest 99L, that wave that we're looking at here. And the tropical models, those that pick up on it, bring it across either the Yucatan or up into the Gulf there. And many of them bring it right up into central or eastern Louisiana. And so that is the model consensus that we're starting to see here, either the upper Texas coast or over toward Louisiana. But this thing hasn't even formed yet. This is not even a tropical depression as of this update. So there is still a lot that can change with this. Just have to keep apprised of the latest weather situation here, the latest advisories from the National Hurricane Center, and we'll keep an eye on these models to see where this goes. But right now, if you're on the Gulf Coast, you want to keep an eye on this situation. Then in the eastern Pacific, a little closer to home here, we've got a wave off of the Mexican coast with a 90% chance of development, according to the National Hurricane Center. That's Invest 95E. And looking at the modeling on this from the tropical set, the ATCF, many of these members bring it up toward the southern tip of Baja, and where it goes from there is anybody's guess. The GFS ensemble got, again, many of the members right up there towards southern Baja. Some bring it up the west coast of Mexico. Others, there's one model that brings it right up into western Arizona, another one right toward the southern part of our state. So obviously this is something we'll watch, and this could have some minor or maybe even serious implications on our weather as we get out toward next week and beyond. But it's just too early to tell right now. It's just a point of interest at the moment. All right, here's the precipitation outlook. This is valid through next Wednesday morning from the WPC. Rain amounts in Phoenix, a little over a tenth of an inch perhaps, and somewhat heavier totals over the favored upslope areas. The numbers are trending up as it does appear that a prolonged episode of unsettled weather could be coming in here next week. And we'll talk about what's going on with all of that as we dive into modeling. Here we go. This is the GFS, the 06Z run, valid at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Our sprawling ridge here across much of the United States, expanding into the greater Southwest, upper heights climbing to pretty close to 594 decameters. So down at the surface today, sunny and hot, highs 106 to 110. Tonight we're clear, overnight lows mainly in the upper 70s to mid 80s. And then tomorrow, sunny, even hotter, highs 108 to 112. The hottest desert spots of southeast California, southwest Arizona may very well hit 115 degrees. On Friday, there is some signs pointing toward at least a little bit of surface moisture sneaking in here in the overnight hours into the early morning on Friday. And that could hold temperatures up a little bit and add some extra humidity into the atmosphere. But with high pressure still the dominant feature, it's still going to be a fairly hot day. Highs 109 to 112 here in Phoenix. And if the humidity levels do perk up just a little bit, that could add an extra layer of heat risk. So Friday could turn out to feel like the hottest day. Whether or not it is remains to be seen, but that's something to consider as well. But then the weather pattern will start to change as we head into the weekend. Troughing over the Pacific Northwest will weaken the ridge a little bit. It will start to reorient as well. That weakness in the ridge will start to allow some tropical systems to get a little closer to the United States also, which we'll show you here in just a moment. But Saturday for us looks like kind of a transition day. We'll see widely scattered showers and thunderstorms over the east central mountains, pushing a little bit further to the west. I think they stay away from us still on Saturday, though. But some clouds come into the forecast. High temperatures trend down a few degrees, around 104 to 108. Then this is Sunday, and moisture continues to trend up here across Arizona, so widely scattered showers and storms get a little closer. In fact, we'll introduce a slight chance of a shower or storm in here by Sunday afternoon or Sunday night into the lower deserts, including Phoenix. High temperatures will continue their downtrend, and we'll be pretty close to normal at that point. And of note here, you can see our tropical system is out over the Central Gulf, south of the Louisiana coast on Sunday afternoon. And just for shiggles here, let's take a look at the European at the same time, Sunday afternoon. And it's got that tropical low in a very similar spot south of Louisiana, although the Euro has it as a much weaker system, maybe just a minimal tropical storm at that point. But whatever the case, it is now in a position that is worth watching. Then here's Monday back off the GFS, and of course moisture on the increase here, scattered showers and thunderstorms around. Temperatures continue to trend down, upper 90s to around 102 for us. Our tropical system is just south of Lafayette, Louisiana, if this verifies. And we show you this because a tropical system of this nature could have an impact on our weather, even in a minor way. If it takes a more westerly route, perhaps on the western side of it, it could start to push some dry air into the southern plains, and that would get caught up in our subtropical ridge and maybe lead to a small mitigation in the number of showers and storms across the southwestern states. But whatever the case, it's too early to tell right now. At this point, we'll see a continued uptick in the number of showers and storms over the area, with moisture increasing, and we'll let you know how it plays out with this tropical system as we go forward. By the way, the European at the same time on Monday, it's got our tropical storm now somewhere near the Sabine Pass, and again, it is much weaker than the GFS, but conditions over the Gulf would be favorable for a fairly rapid development of a tropical system should one happen to get in there. So that has to be watched very carefully. And also you'll note on the European, it's got that low that we've been talking about off the Mexican coast, now moving up towards southern Baja. It's west of Cabo San Lucas at that point. And so we will watch where that goes in time. All right, back off the GFS on Tuesday. Continued scattered showers and thunderstorms here over the greater Southwest. We'll keep a 40% chance of storms going for us. High temperatures continue to trend lower, probably only in the mid to upper 90s again. So another bout of below average temperatures with humidity levels elevated and lots of clouds around by this time. Here's a week from today. This is Wednesday, the 1st of September. It's the start of meteorological fall. And the GFS has our tropical system there on the border of Mississippi and Louisiana. We have a ridge here still putting in southerly to southeasterly flow across Arizona and a trough over the Pacific Northwest. Signs of some disturbances moving around that ridge into the southwest for continued unsettled weather, if that verifies. Then as we go out 10 days, this is Friday the 3rd of September, and now our tropical low that was over the Gulf Coast there is actually retrograding. It's shifting back to the west. It's centered over Oklahoma, and we have a trough, a short wave along the Pacific Northwest coast. And a southwesterly flow would start to come in here, but it looks like a fairly robust amount of tropical moisture is still sitting to the southwest of us. So normally a southwesterly flow would be drier, but we continue with enough moisture around for scattered showers and thunderstorms if all of this verifies. But again, there's just way too many question marks right now to say what's going to happen for sure next week. It's all a wild card, but it does appear that increased moisture and somewhat unsettled conditions will be with us for much of, if not the entire week next week. Here's a look at rainfall for Phoenix over the next couple of weeks. First, we'll take a look at the GFS ensemble, and the mean right around 0.6 of an inch, but the control member way up there over an inch. And then the European ensemble, kind of a big spread here. You've got a handful of members that show nothing, Got others that are up at 2 and even one at 3.5 inches of rain. The mean is pretty close to 3/4 of an inch, but a sign here of more active weather coming in next week is reflected on most of the ensemble guidance. So that's the way that our forecast will trend as well. And temperatures off the national blend of models, of course, it's going to be hot today, tomorrow, Friday. I actually think these numbers might be just a touch too low, especially tomorrow and Friday. We could very well be up toward 112 degrees there. But then a big trend downward with highs maybe not making the century mark as we get into next week. And that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video back here tomorrow morning. If you enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, and click that notification bell so that whenever a brand new video is posted, you'll get the notice. Your comments, questions, and suggestions, they are always encouraged as well. Thank you so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. You guys be safe. Stay cool. Stay hydrated out there. Watch your kids around the swimming pool and have yourselves a glorious Wednesday.